Hey guys, welcome back to Poppaprepper. T here. Good Wednesday morning, hump day. Halfway through another one. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. It's supposed to be kind of nasty and wet today here, but still very unseasonably warm. Today, well, you guys will see this. So yesterday, it got up to 72 here, and it was gorgeous. If it's anything like it has been around here the last couple years, I think we're going to jump straight from winter to summer, which is terrible. I remember last year we had like 95-degree days in May, and that usually don't hear here like the end of July. But anyway, anything's better than snow. Since we did our little bug out challenge or bug out bag challenge the other day, I decided today I would just go ahead and, follow suit with that. Some of the topics I won't spend too much time on really because I did cover like the first aid and type of things, that you'll need bugging out. Basically, bugging in, bugging out is the same when it comes to first aid and medical, except for obviously bugging out, you're not going to be able to take as much of it with you. But I would definitely try to take a little bit of all of it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Of course, if you hell bent you're bugging in, you want to stock as much of that stuff as you can. But bugging out, whatever you do have stockpiled of, take a little bit of everything. Okay. And the biggest thing about bugging out, this isn't so much the bag really, but just remember, even if you have no intentions of bugging out, you need to have a bug out plan. Because you don't know. Because like I've said before, our intentions are to stay here until we just absolutely can't. And even with that, we plan on taking a bug out vehicle. Now, of course, if there's an imminent threat, right here at our front door, like they're trying to beat the door down, or they've, thrown a bottle of gas through the front or through the window and our house is on fire, yes, we're going to bug out. And if the bug out vehicle is not available, we're going to try to do it on foot. But the reason I say try is because if there's a lot more of them than three of us can hold off, it's about 500 yards to our closest tree line. Okay? And it's really open here. So the odds of us with the whole group of marauders or something making it on foot, I mean, you got to keep it in check, guys. You got to keep it real. That we don't have very good odds. So aside from our house being on fire, we're going to stay here and fight it out. We have a better chance of being in the house undercover than just taking off across the yard, okay? But unless there's some, and there always will be unforeseen circumstances, but my truck stays parked right outside the back door. All we gotta do is grab our stuff and go. So theoretically, that's the plan. But definitely, you're gonna want a bug out plan, a good plan that everybody in your party knows by heart. Okay, because if it goes down and you're at home, but your missus or your mister is at work and your kids at school, or whatever the circumstances may be, if you don't have a plan, y'all are going to be a mess trying to run around, find each other, especially if like the towers are down, there's no cell phone service. You're going to be running around trying to find each other, making an already terrible situation worse. So you're going to want a plan. So if it goes down, where to meet, or they know to come straight home, stop, pick up the kid, then come home, whatever the circumstances may be, y'all need to know that and have it down. As far as the bugging out, the bug out bag, important thing to remember are the survival threes. Okay? You can go 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food. But with a good bug out bag, properly thought out, everything, you won't be in that position. Okay? You don't want to test that theory. So, if you plan out your bug out bag accordingly, it strongly enhances your chances of survival. Because, anything can happen, okay? Obviously, anything can happen or you wouldn't be bugging out. But, even if you have what you consider foolproof plan, anything can happen before you even get to your bug out location, okay? If you're in a vehicle, it could break down. You could wreck. If you're bugging out on foot, there could be floods blocking your way. You never know what's going to go down, okay? So, that bug out bag is going to be your saving grace until you get to where you're going. Excuse me. I feel dehydrated today, guys. I don't see how. I know I've drank over a gallon of water. I hope, because both my ladies are sick right now. So I'm hoping they haven't been generous and passed it on, because I have a very itchy throat. Not sore, but like really itchy. I came home and took vitamin C drops. I'm just kind of go off the top of my head, kind of like I did with the tools, because you guys seen my bug out bag. You seen Grimm's bug out bag, and Jason said we both did very good. The only thing I really didn't have, was a navigation tool, and I'm looking at them currently. I will be ordering some type of compass. He said to not go cheap on them, so I'm taking that into consideration, because I know the Angry Prepper knows what he's talking about. So I will definitely be getting one. But so I'm, and no disrespect to the Angry Prepper, none, okay. But I'm telling you guys, and I'm sure he would agree with me, to still do your own research. Figure out what you need. Just because somebody, even with, Jason's status, he is one hell of a prepper, one hell of a guy. He's a survivalist. He's had extensive training. But, there's going to be things that you need that he or me or, don't necessarily need. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, like I said, no disrespect. I know he knows he knows what he's talking about. But still, you're going to put in your own time, your own research, and because it's going to be tailor-made to you. Okay? The 3 minutes with air or without air, you're going to want to make sure you got some type of good face covering. Like a N95 mask, or if you got the fundage, you can go full blown 3M. 3M makes nice masks, the actual respirator masks, and they're not too pricey, really. I think they're like $13 on Amazon. But you definitely want to have like a N95, or, and 2 or 3, not just one. Because you never know what could happen, and it's not just from like the sickness or anything like that. Anything can happen. It might, wherever you're at, you could have dust storms, you could have anything. Okay, you're gonna want something to help you breathe. Even if it's worst case scenario, even if it's just a bandana wrapped around your face, something that you can wrap around your face, or a mask to help you with breathing. You're going to want some type of shelter. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have a bug out vehicle, like I was talking about the other night, I have a big 27-gallon tote in the back of my SUV, It is, I mean, it's got our propane camp stove, propane tanks. I've got cutlery back there. I've got tarps. I've got a 4-person TP tent. It sets up in like 3 minutes. I've got fishing rods, fully stocked tackle box. You know, I've got vacuum sealed food in there. I've got a case of water in there. I mean, my gas mileage probably sucks at this point just because of the extra weight in the back of my SUV, because I want it ready to go at any given time. Okay, now I know not everybody has that luxury. So when it comes to the bag, when it comes to your shelter, you're going to want some type of lightweight pop-up tent, or just shop around, get a nice, there are tarp / tents that has different configurations. You can set them up several different ways. There's emergency tents, there's emergency blankets / tents, space blankets, stuff like that. Very compact, very little space taken, but you're gonna, and you might have the ultimate plan of, bugging out into the deep woods and bushcrafting this awesome survival cabin, or something like that. But you're still going to need some type of immediate shelter, because you bug out and it rains for 3 days, you're going to be miserable. if you're alive, okay, because you're probably going to get very sick, and it's just going to be a bad situation. You're going to have no dry clothes, no nothing. Okay, so you're going to want some type of immediate shelter. Your water. I would, at least 2 to 3 bottles of water per person, just to get you out, get you started, get you on your way. And everybody that's with you will probably have their own bug out bag, so make sure they make sure they have their own water, stuff like that. But not just bottled water. You're going to want a way to purify your water too, because clearly those aren't going to last very long. There's life straws. There's several different cheap versions of life straws. There are Sawyer water filters, which that's what I highly recommend. And even with that, they say they filter 100,000 gallons of water. That's kind of, maybe they do, maybe they don't. It probably, like if you was filtering your tap water, it would probably do 100,000 gallons. But if you're in a real life situation, SHTF bugging out, and you're drinking out of creeks and lakes and, possibly even a ditch, if that's your only option, it's not going to filter 100,000 gallons of water. So, that's just reality. Come on. But you're definitely, there is water filtration tablets. I've never really done anything with those. I ain't going to act like I have. You can research those, see what you think. I honestly, I'm not for them or against them. Okay, guys? Just, like I said, do your own research. And, I'll leave that at that. If you have no type of water filtration, you're going to want to be very sure you have some kind of metal container that you can at least boil water with before you drink it. Because if you just start drinking straight out of a creek or a lake or a pond, or the risk factors of dysentery and all that stuff, you're going to get sick. You're going to, it's going to be a never-ending cycle of dehydration, and just it's going to be nasty. Okay, so just make sure, if you can't filter your water in any way, at least boil it before you drink it. Okay. Your food. You're going to want typically a 3-day supply. Under ideal conditions, that should be enough to get you to where you're going. Now, if you have the means, you have the room, and you want to put 5 days food in there, okay, that's great. That's your call. Typically, the best thing to take is like freeze-dried food. Simply because it's the lightest option. Okay, you're not going to want 3 days worth of food in tin cans. Okay, that's going to be a lot of weight. You've already got a gallon of water on your bag. Plus everything else in that bag. You're not going to want 10 pounds of food in metal cans strapped to your back. You're going to want the least amount of weight as possible. Especially because you never know what could happen. You might end up having to hike 10 miles out of your way to get around a flooded area or a wildfire or anything. You don't know. Okay. Clearly it's less than perfect conditions if you're bugging out, so you need to be ready for anything. But yeah, typically the ideal is 3 days. Lighter the better. Now, if you can't afford to freeze dried food, I get it. It is pricey. Okay, but, say if you just buy like a bag of it every payday, or, you know what I mean? It's got 25-year shelf life usually. So, you can piece it together, because if you're just now building a bug out bag, you might as well take the time and do it right, But if it comes down to it and you're scared it's going to happen tomorrow, I would get, stuff that's very high calorie, very high protein, very high in carbs that you can, just open and eat, that don't weigh a lot, like potted meat, Spam. Yeah, I'm another guy that cannot stand Spam. I can't stand to look at it. I can't stand the smell of it. It's disgusting. But that's neither here nor there. If it came down to it, eating it or dying, I would eat it. But I wouldn't be happy about it. Your clothing. This is something you're going to want to definitely rotate out of your bag. Obviously, with every season. I honestly would, you can do it twice a year, because typically fall and winter kind of the same as spring and summer. Because typically fall, aside from like, you know what, I'm not even going to go there. It's just too complicated. Trade it out every season, guys, okay? If you're fortunate enough to be bugging out in a vehicle, and there's 3 or 4 of you, so you got some extra empty hands, if you want to have a couple bags of seasonal clothes, like different seasons, just to grab and take with you, that you can have at the ready, great. Okay, that would be more than ideal. But typically, if you're bugging out on foot, you want to have the clothes, obviously, that you need for that season. So say the last time you changed your bug out bag was back in June, and then here it is, say late November, and you got to bug out. Well, of course, you're going to have something warm on when you leave, but then you get out to, or get to where you're going, or you set camp for the night, and your clothes you're wearing are soaked because of rain or snow or whatever, and all you got in your bag is a pair of cargo shorts and a t-shirt, you're screwed. I mean, you're screwed. So you definitely want to adjust, rotate your clothes out for each season. And you're going to want an extra change of clothes. I would take, at least 2 or 3 pairs of socks. Depending on what season, if it's winter, of course, big, thick wool socks. The summer, thinner, you know how to dress. But you're definitely going to want some extra underwear, extra socks, stuff like, basically kind of packing for a really bad vacation. Sorry guys, I always try to throw a little bit of humor in, no matter how cheesy it is. Just kind of, and this isn't something that I'm saying you should take lightly, okay? But I just kind of throw it in there. Fire. Without fire, you basically have nothing. So you're going to want several different options and know how to do it. You're going to want several different options on making a fire. Don't just rely on like, well, I've got 5 Bic lighters in there. Well, those are not going to last forever, because you don't know what, if it's bad enough that you have to bug out, like, social collapse, economic collapse, everything's just, pardon the expression, went straight to hell. You don't know if you're ever going to be able to go home, So what you leave with could possibly be what you have. I mean, that's going to be all you have. So, yeah, having 4 or 5 Bic lighters, that's great. But you also better have a ferro rod with a striker. 2 or 3 of them ain't going to hurt. Fireproof matches. I mean, there's several different bow drill, flint and stone, or stone and steel. Good God. Steel and a striker, I think's the words I'm looking for. Fat wood, pine resin, fat rope. You can do the whole dryer lint and toilet paper rolls, and just, you're going to want different options, different tenders. You're going to have that stuff. Make sure it's in a waterproof container. But you're going to want several different options and know how to use those options to produce fire. Because like I said, without fire, you have nothing. Nothing. No warmth. No way to boil water. No way to cook anything. That's going to get old real quick. First aid, I've kind of already went over last week in one of my videos, so if you want to refresh yourself with that, I'm not really going to go over all that again, because that was a big list. But, like I said at the beginning of this, not that you can take your whole stockpile of first aid and, and over-the-counter medicines and stuff, but you're going to want to make sure you take a little bit of everything. Okay, you're going to want a very wide variety, because you can't play with your health out there. You can't play with infections. You can't play with, the vitamin deficiencies and stuff like that. And in the other video, I explain, I talk about your vitamins, your supplements, things like that. You don't want to mess around with that stuff until you get established and you know what you can eat in the wild, if that's your only option, to get your vitamins and your, until you get to that point, that stability, you're going to want to make sure you have it on hand. So make sure you can take as much of it, as you can fit in your bag and still be able to carry it, That's another big thing with the bug out bag. You want to be able to carry weight for a very long distance. Okay? Like my bag, completely full, weighs 40 pounds. Right at 40. Now I can put that on, walk around with it, carry it, no problem. I can walk, around the block 5 or 6 times, no problem. But that's going to be a lot different than being in the woods, trekking up and down hills, trying to cross creeks, running for cover if need be. That's going to be a big deal. So you don't want, just because you can carry a 70-pound bag, don't mean you're going to be able to bug out with a 70-pound bag. Big difference. Okay, guys? Keep it realistic. Don't set your, how should I say that? Don't set your abilities higher than what they really are. Okay? You're not Superman or Superwoman. Okay? Just keep it real. Let's see. Tools. I kind of went over this just yesterday. But, you're going to want some kind of multi-tool. Leatherman, Gerber, those are like the top dogs, okay? You can get them a lot cheaper, but like with anything else, you get what you pay for. I have a little multi-tool that basically the only reason that I was even worried about it was because it has the old school type can opener. Because the little crank things, which I have one in my bag, but as well as I do, those aren't very reliable. They break quick, they wear out easy, so you're going to want some way that you can open a can of food or, whatever the situation may be. You're going to want some kind of multi-tool. I have a mini shovel in my bag that breaks down, has its own nice little pouch, very little room. You want a variety of little screwdrivers, things like that, because you don't know what you're going to run into. Say you bug out, but you come across a car sitting somewhere, and if everybody else is bugged out, and this car was left behind but has no key, with screwdrivers, you can start that car, okay? Because you're going to have, it will depend on the type of car, the type of ignition, but, that goes without saying. An older car, you can pop that ignition out, put that flathead screwdriver in there, and it will go, trust me. No, I've never stole a car, but I did have one that I had to do that with because I lost the keys. And I'm going to throw this in. It's usually under cordage, but you're going to want some type of cordage. I keep roughly 50 feet of paracord in my bag. The wire, like, the type you use to make snares with, stuff like that, I have a roll of that in my bag. Really, that's really the best, is paracord. You don't want some janky nylon string or clothesline string, or rope, whatever. I would definitely just get the paracord, and I would keep 50 to 75 feet of it in there, because you don't know which, you can use it to make a splint, you can use it to make shelter, whatever you would need to tie together. Duh. It's rope. So you definitely want to keep some paracord in there. Duct tape. Definitely would want duct tape. Actually, and I would suggest Gorilla Tape. It's duct tape to like the fifth power. By far the best tape on the market, I think. Personally, okay, is Gorilla Tape. Something I don't have that I'm going to invest in is a small type of crowbar. Something you could pry a door open with, bust a lock with, something like that. You're going to want a hatchet. Obvious reasons. Firewood, stuff like that. Good hatchet. Mine could be better, but I think it'll be okay. It is a good, sturdy, heavy hatchet. Because you don't want a lightweight, flimsy, like a little... if all you got is like a little Coleman campsite hatchet, that's the best hatchet. That's the best hatchet you're ever going to get. If it's hit the fan, that's all you got. That's the best you're going to have. Okay? But if you have an option now, I would get something a little heavier than that, because the heavier your hatchet, the easier it is to cut firewood with and split wood. Some type of folding saw. There's several different options. Again, if you want to reference our bug out challenge video from Sunday, I think we both have very high quality, nice saws. I can't remember his brand. Mine is Silky. I got the Silky Big Boy, and it cuts like butter. I mean, like a hot knife through butter. It's great. I would have some type. Obviously, it wouldn't be. You're not going to be able to bug out with a very large amount, but I would have an assortment of hardware like nails, screws, things like that, because you never know. And just, I mean, the uses that, or the situations you run into for stuff like that are limitless. Kind of like with the rope and duct tape. You know, if if it moves and it's not supposed to, duct tape. If it don't move and it's supposed to, WD-40, which is another one I need to get for my bag, is WD-40. It's amazing. Very many uses. I've already covered that in another video. You can go back and look. WD-40 is phenomenal. It's kind of like duct tape. There's millions of uses. I think that's about it for the tools. And like I said, you can go back and reference my videos from last week. I covered tools. Or last week. Good Lord, my days are even running together. Just yesterday, I covered tools. Then there's just, some other things like the hand warmers, feet warmers. I've got several different pairs of those in my bag. But, like I was told the other night, remember those run on oxygen. So, if you put them in your shoe and then, you're walking for a while and because no matter what your weight, how physical fit you are, after you walk for so long, your feet and ankles swell. So if your foot swells so much that oxygen can't get to those feet warmers, they're going to quit working. It's just not going to work, period. And that's the way with any of them. If it can't get some type of oxygen, because that's what activates them, they're not going to work. Trying to think, guys. A sewing kit. Not necessarily a complete kit. That's what I have in mind. Because like I said the other night, I'm very hard on clothes. So I've got a very wide assortment of needles, threads, safety pins, extra buttons, straight pins, and all that stuff has multiple uses. Okay, guys? So I think that kit that I showed the other night, I think I got it for like $15. But it is complete. There's like thread in there for years. Let's see what else. You want some kind of, this goes along with the tools, some kind of whetstone or a sharpener. Not only for your knives, which I haven't even got to that part yet, but also you're going to want some type of knives. Don't skimp on the knives. There are a lot of good knives out there, and some of them are ridiculously priced. That's not worth the price. But there's some, again, I'm going to have you do your own research on that. Okay, because I love knives. So, I don't see a problem with spending $80 for a good survival knife. But other people might be like, I can get that at Walmart for $20. Well, you get what you pay for. Okay? And I'm not saying, now, like I've said a lot of times, that the little knife I carry on me, my EDC, is an Ozark Trails pocket knife from Walmart. That thing is razor sharp. It stays sharp. When I have had to sharpen it, it takes an edge right back like that. They're really good, dependable little knives for what they are. Maybe I just got lucky. I don't know, but I won't say nothing bad about Ozark Trails pocket knives, or at least that one. And that's the same multi-tool I have too. And it's pretty heavy. It seems pretty sturdy. I haven't worked on anything with it, obviously, or anything like that. But that's the multi-tool I have as well, is Ozark Trails. But yeah, you're going to want a whetstone. Excuse me. And you can get a separate stone for your hatchet, or I mean, you can sharpen it on a whetstone. That's your discretion as well. What else is there? Communications. I have my little NOAA radio. It is solar powered, battery powered. You can crank it. Yep, I think that's it. But anyway, it has a flashlight on the end. It has USB ports to charge your phone. It's a night light if you so choose. It has AM, FM, all the weather channels or stations. Sorry guys, I just noticed I'm at 35 minutes already. I think I'm almost done though. But you're definitely going to want, walkie-talkies, especially if you're not bugging out alone. Clearly, you're going to want a means of communication between each other. Ham radios, CB radios. On those, again, do your own research. I own 3 ham radios, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know how to use them yet. I've got somebody that's going to teach me, but as for right now, they're little light up paperweights as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if it hit the fan and I had to get it, I mean, I could figure it out, I'm sure. But as for right now, just to mess with it, I'd probably end up in trouble because I don't know the first thing about them. But you definitely want a means of communication. Let's see. Oh, copy of your important documents. I'm talking everything. Passports, the deed to your home, the titles to your cars, your birth certificates, social security cards, anything like that you can think of, because, say, I don't know, whatever reason, and the immediate danger's over and you can return home. Okay. Well, say that your place got trashed. Okay. Vandals hit it, marauders hit it, whatever, went through all your stuff, everything, there's stuff missing, or your house was flooded, all your documents were ruined. As long as you have copies and they're kept safe in a waterproof bag, you have proof to say, yes, this is my house. I own this house. It says so right here, that type of thing. I think that's about it. Of course, you're going to, I said space blankets, emergency blankets. But if you can get like a good quality wool type blanket, keep rolled up and put it in the bottom of your bag, or, roll it up and strap it to your bag, something like that. Very beneficial, as opposed to just laying on the hard, cold ground. You're going to want containers, something to cook with, some kind of pan or a pot, preferably like stainless steel, something that can just take a beating and keep on going. You're obviously not going to be able to have you can, I shouldn't say can't, but a type of bowl, plate, stuff like that. Some type of spoon and fork. Mine is just metal. One end's a spoon, the other end's a fork. You can buy those all day long for near nothing. What else? I covered fire, first aid, water, food, your clothes. I think that's about it, guys. Their defense, self-defense, kind of goes without saying. Obviously, there's a good amount of us that, have our sidearms, freedom seeds, things like that. There's a lot of people that don't. That's where your knives come in handy. There's, I mean, pepper spray, stun guns, tasers. I mean, self-defense is limitless. And I am going to do a video on that. If you don't have a means for a firearm, there are plenty of other things you can do. Ideally, firearms are the best, most reliable. Anything that you can get a hand up from farther away, the better. But that's not always going to be the case. So I will get into that. And I'll say this, like there's going to be things I've missed, things I've forgotten, because once again, I'm just kind of flying from the, seat of my pants. I'm kind of wanting to get more into that instead of spending so much time, which is good. I want to give you guys the best information, the best advice that I can. Okay. But I found even with doing research online, there's still stuff that I don't remember or things that still get left out. So that's why I've been saying, you guys, please, I don't consider it rude. I don't consider it hateful. If there's things that I've missed, or not necessarily missed, but that I just don't deem necessary for me, please drop it in the comments, because other people, like-minded people like you, it'll help them as well as it could help me. So please, anything that I don't cover, I don't think of, please put it in the comments, okay? Like I said, I don't see that as rude or disrespectful. You can be rude and disrespectful about it. I ask you not to do that. But I don't mind it at all, guys. Because, see, this is what I just went off of. You can print this out yourself if you want. It's just basically the basic subjects, topics, whatever, and then just kind of fill in the blanks yourself. So that's what I was doing, just kind of going through what I had in my bag. And, But, before I forget, let me think real quick. I need a fact for today. My hunting method, nope. My hunting tool of choice is a 10-point crossbow. My hunting method of choice is a 10-point crossbow. Okay? I think that's all I've got for today, guys. I've got a lot of stuff to do this evening, so I honestly don't know if I'm going to have a premiere video for Thursday morning. Because I've got a lot of stuff to do. But I will try. I'll try. But if I don't, don't think nothing about it. I'm okay. I know last time I did that, it kind of freaked some people out, and that was because I was having a very bad couple days with health issues. But if I don't have a premiere for Thursday, I will definitely see you guys Thursday night I hope I see you guys Thursday night for Therapy Thursday. Other than that, guys, I think that's all I got. I hope you guys have a blessed day. And until next time, God bless y'all. I love every one of you. Stay safe. Okay. Guys, I try to blow it off. But all this drama that's going on between everybody, it's not good. Okay? It's not healthy. Who's wrong? Who's right? Who did what? Who didn't do it? Dude, guys, we need to move on. Seriously. if somebody has done something, you know, get that proof out there or own up to it. You know, if it wasn't done, get that proof up there. You know, something. This stuff's got to come. We got to come back together, guys. You know, we already have a hard enough time getting the word out there and not being, you know, tiptoeing through eggshells, you know, with YouTube and being censored, and that's bad enough, you know, without having to, you know, be constantly wondering or worrying about what's going on, you know, everywhere. And I know I'm a worrywart. I am just a worrywart. And I don't know what all is going on. You know, I don't know who all's involved. I just, you know, I want it to be over one way or the other. You know, everybody, anything that I've heard, these people, I respect the hell out of them. You know, and maybe that's my bad. I respect everybody. Everybody in this prepper community. That, now there's some people I think shady, and I don't watch them. You know, period. But a lot of the stuff going on, and like I said, I don't know all the details. I don't know many details. But I'm just ready for it to be over, guys. We need to act like men and women. And, you know, I'm probably speaking out of turn. I'm probably sticking my nose where it don't belong. But this is my community too. You know. So I am going to ask from now on in the chats, if you guys are in here, just let it go. I don't want to read nothing about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. Okay, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Okay, I just want us to be what we were. You know, it's kind of having some of the fun taken out of it. And if it gets to where it's not fun, and I feel like people are more focused on the drama than learning or teaching, then what's the point? There, that's my 2 cents worth. God bless y'all, and I mean it, every one of y'all. Everybody involved, everybody that watches me, God bless you. And I love y'all. You guys be safe. Work this out. Papa Prepper out.